Commissioner Abraham.
Present.
Commissioner Galt.
Present.
Commissioner Kaler.
Present.
Commissioner Watkins.
Present.
Mayor Paxton.
Present. I believe we have Gina Brock. Gina from Emmanuel Baptist Church, an associate minister. We are having guest ministers at our meetings every month to start the meetings off. So Gina, if you'll come up to the podium and lead us, that'll be great. Would we please stand?
Let us pray. Gracious God, you who are the source of life and wisdom and reason, we pause a moment to recognize you in this place and in these people who serve our community. Thank you for their guidance and their commitment to the people who live here. And during their time together and in the discussions that will take place, grant them, we pray, the ability to truly listen to what is said and what is not said, discernment for the challenges they face, and wisdom for the decisions they must make. May your nature be reflected in them and in their leadership, so that your nature may be reflected in this community and throughout the world. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. We have Troop 1 here tonight, and they're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you all come forward and why don't you turn around and face the audience and introduce yourself.
I'm Lucas Reed from Troop 1. Ellen Richards from Troop 1.
Aaron Reed from Troop 1.
All right, Troop 1's well represented. Okay, men. Flags that way.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to its republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, men. Now you've got a couple leaders here. Would you all identify yourselves?
Stanley Reed, Troop 1. Wayne Richards, Troop 1.
Good. Appreciate the leadership you give to the troop. It's can't happen without men like you all, so we thank you very much. Okay, Mr. City Manager, any additions or deletions?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right, this is always a fun time when we have civic beautification here to give awards for the Dogwood Trail. We all know that Mother Nature kind of hit us with a little surprise and bloomed out the dogwoods early. But we had a beautiful trail and some beautiful trees and beautiful yards, and we have pictures up here showing how well they have bloomed out this year. So we're lucky to have Ro Morris here that's going to tell us about all of this. Ro? The whole committee is. All right.
Tonight, the Civic Beautification Board and the City of Paducah would like to recognize the 48th Annual Dogwood Trail Award winners and also the people and businesses that helped make the Dogwood Tree Sale and the trail itself a successful event.
We worked with 5 local nurseries this year. We worked with Eads and Edwards and James Sanders, Montgomery Gardens, and Walls, and we sold over 150 dogwood trees in a 4-hour time, like Saturday before last. And not only did we just sell trees to be planted, we raised $372 to go to the Children's Memorial Garden plantings at Noble Park. And on your agenda tonight, you have that particular project that the city has undertaken with a lot of private money from garden clubs and civic beautification. And Carolyn Ruth is here. We're going to present this money to her tonight at certificates at those 5 nurseries. And she's going to tell you a little bit about the garden.
Okay. Welcome, Carolyn.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Wow. This has only been, I don't know how long. Back in '95, the nation was kind of stunned with the bombing in Oklahoma City. And Beautification Board decided that what it could do in kind of memory honor of was to put in a children's memorial garden because 19 children died in that bombing. And we put in 19 dogwoods. And over the years we have lost a few, and by the time the ice storm came in 2009, only one was left. So we applied for, my garden club, Open Gate Garden Club, applied for a grant and got it, and went running over to the Parks Department and said, now we can replace. Well, we were put on hold because Parks was going to really do some neat things, and this year we were finally given the go-ahead, and we will replace the memorial garden. We've picked out the spot. It's going to be by the pool, and we're going to have 19 dogwoods plus some other understory plantings. So I'm really excited about it. And went to Beautification and said, help, and they did. And I can't believe the sale and the money. And of course, we will take any donations from anybody toward replanting the dogwoods. Thank you.
And if somebody wants to make a donation, they would send that.
The easiest thing is going to be send it to Beautification Board at the City Hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautification Board at City Hall for anybody.
And as kind of a bonus, Open Gate Garden Club is a 501c3, which means donations are tax deductible.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the job you're doing.
Carolyn is here representing the garden clubs of Noble Park, and we're doing the whole project through them. Dorotha Page would normally be here, and Carolyn came to the rescue because Dorotha is Noble Park Plantings, as we know.
She is Miss Noble Park.
That's correct. Okay. I want to thank at this time these beautiful photographs right here were taken by one of our CBB board members' son. Our board member is Wayne Armbruster, and his son Justin. I wish you'd stand up, Justin. Come up here. We have a little treat for you. We have a great big memory card for your camera. We passed that around at our Civic Beautification Board meeting yesterday, and everybody thanked you for that. They're awesome. They really, really are. So thank you. Job well done. One of our young photographers in the making there.
Also, on behalf of the Civic Beautification Board, I'd like to thank all the people, both on and off trail, who lit up their trees, their dogwood trees, azalea bushes, yards, and so on, and participated in the American Flag Program. Would Reed please come forward? On behalf of the board, we want to present you with a flag and thank you for including the Dogwood Trail in your American Flag Program that honors our veterans, both the active and past service members. Thank you very much.
I believe that they have over 100 yards now, owners of homes and businesses that are having their flags put in their front of their businesses or their yards during all of the different holidays.
So the
Terrific program.
Troop 1 puts the flags in the yards.
If you go to troop1paducah.com, it's the coolest website, and it tells you all about how you can be part of this program. It's a fundraiser that the Boy Scouts, specifically Troop 1, is doing, and at $50 a year, they come for 6 holidays, and if you're on the Dogwood Trail, they actually bring it and leave it there if you agree to light it for the whole week. Mm-hmm. So they added the Dogwood Trail to their program. It's a fairly new program. Is it 2 years old? And they have over 100. I know maybe it's way over that. I don't know now, but there's a lot of them. Carl Baker is the one that is actually, that's his baby, I think. Normally he is. You can see him out there with these scouts and their fathers. But thank you all. It's been beautiful this year with the flags and the lighted dogwoods. It's been kind of gives you goosebumps sometimes. It's great. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Now, Commissioner Kaler, if you would please come forward, and the president of our Civic Beautification Board, Chuck Wall, we're going to make the presentation of our Dogwood Awards. And so many of you are here tonight. Thank you so much.
You got a loud voice. I got a loud voice. We don't have to do it right there. First off, I want to thank my board for doing a great job, and I don't think that I picked all of it up from the mayor, but I know he's really good at it, and that is surrounding yourself with great people. And when I agreed to take on the presidency or whatever it is of the board, I was reluctant, but I knew I had a good bunch of people, a really good bunch of people, and I really appreciate y'all stepping up and having a beautiful dogwood trail, especially our recipients this year. Our first one is the On-Trail Award for Jeff and Trish Hines at 2801 Broadway.
And our second award, the Paducah 40th Annual Dogwood Trail. This is the Outstanding Lighted Dogwoods on Trail Award, and it goes to Robert and Dane Gentry at 3217 Buckner Lane.
They're coming up with the board members that are here tonight. Would you please stand up, your Civic Beautification Board members? Great. Thank you all for being here. It is a real group effort to get out and judge these. There were so many to choose from this year. Thank you all.
The next On-Trail Award is Dr. Jeff and Sue Ellen Johnson, 625 Woodland Drive.
Sue Ellen said she might have to leave, and she did. We'll just take it. Yeah, we'll deliver it to her.
For the Outstanding Lighted Dogwood on Trail Award, Jason and Lauren Hamilton at 2721 Jefferson.
And their daughter, Ansley.
Thank you.
Next one is On Trail of Rick and Jenny Coltharp at 201 Cedar Lane.
Congratulations.
For the Outstanding Lighted Dogwood on Trail Award, Duncan and Alice Pitchford at 231 Fountain Avenue.
There he is right here.
It's so great to see these
Up
children.
for your award, Duncan.
You're always here for the presentation. You always make it.
It's so fun to see these children get an idea of its previews of coming attractions. So you teach them how to plant those trees, Duncan.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Duncan.
On Trail is Jerry and Martha Hinton, 120 Country Club Lane.
Outstanding Lighted Dogwood on Trail Award, Oscar and Jane Gamble at 4200 Buckner Lane.
Doesn't look like they're here, but they have planted a dozen dogwoods since the ice storm, and it had another 7 in their yard, and they've restored the old Shimwell home. That was just like a no-brainer for us, wasn't it?
On Trail of Ryan and Lisa Massey, 1919 Jefferson. Mayor and I were talking about Jefferson before the meeting, and isn't Jefferson awesome? Isn't it?
I don't know if you have noticed or not. Have you talked about at this meeting, because I watch this every week, but I haven't heard you all talk about the Paducah Garden Club and what they did down Jefferson. Oh my goodness, it's spectacular. I missed that, but it is spectacular. 19th on Jefferson. Whoa, beautiful.
It's really coming back.
Outstanding Lighted Dogwood Off-Trail Award, Francie Edwards at 3435 Central.
And On Trail Award for Tom and Liz Kohler, 3400 Jefferson.
I have to say this too from talking to the people. They had a lot of old trees, and I don't know if it was bushes or shrubs or what, and you all removed whatever was hiding that. And they were so excited to win an award because they actually exposed this gorgeous dogwood when they removed that brush. So I'm glad that you got to share it.
What a story.
Thank you.
And the last of the outstanding lighted dogwood off-trail award, David and Allison Kelly, 226 Cedar Lane.
Thank you all.
It's been the Oscars. Thank you.
It's one thing to have beautiful dogwoods, but it's another thing to take and make the efforts to light them night after night and to light those American flags. Thank you all. We really did light up and salute the troops this year. Thank you so much.
Dabney, while you're up here, why don't you explain the number of dogwood trees that the Paducah Garden Club planted?
You know, I don't have the exact number, Bill, so I'd hate to say that and be wrong.
Approximately.
I think we planted about 25, but I'm not certain. I apologize for that. I'll find out and let you know, though, okay?
Yeah.
I'll be glad to come back and talk about the whole program. Or actually, Cindy Jones is the chair, and I'm her co-chair, and I know she'd be happy to come and talk about that. We're just about finished.
Good. Well, it looks great.
Thank you. We think so too, and we're proud of it, and we're happy that so many people have noticed it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. The Jefferson Street looks beautiful. The entire city looks beautiful. Noble Park looks wonderful with all the improvements that the city has made, and then the plantings. It's great. Judge, I just want to tell you that Dr. Ransford is very jealous that you got the award and he didn't. So he's going to be fighting you for it next year. Oh, is that what it was? Okay. All right. All right. Well, thanks the Beautification Board and everybody who participated. Paducah's a great city, and you all make it that much better. So everybody is welcome to stay to see Paducah's business transpire. But if you really don't care to do that, you can excuse yourself and go home. And we will not hold it against you. With them. Thank you, Troop 1. All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all for coming.
Doing the map.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. That's where.
Bill, I'd like to just say something about.
Sure, sure. Let's let them get out and. Okay, Mayor Pro Tem, you wanted to say something?
Well, segueing on to all this wonderful work for civic beautification and the Dogwood Trail, I'd like to really compliment Les Evans with the Parks Department. I called him and complimented him, but I think it's always good to do it publicly. And, you know, the riverfront has been beautiful this spring with all the tulips he planted and the planters out on the riverfront, and downtown Paducah and the park especially. I mean, it's just all looked great. He's kept everything trimmed well. The tulips have been amazing. Unfortunately, they're gone now, but I just wanted to tell Les what a good job he's doing. And
Good.
I mean, you guys, work you did on Jefferson with Chief Paducah. I mean, you guys were out there early helping with that, so they're doing a great job.
Well, and give yourself credit on the Alvin Barkley. Didn't you spearhead that on the Alvin Barkley? Mm-hmm. Right around Alvin Barkley on 28th Street, Gail and her team planted flowers, bushes all around that. It looks great. It was badly needed. So good job on that. Okay. If Chief, would you yell for Rick to come in here? I think he's on the agenda. Oh, hello, Rick. Were you? Oh, were you? All right. We're going to have a little public hearing, and And Rick is heading that up.
Mayor Commission, every year we need to have a public hearing for the use of our gas tax money that we receive from the state. It's a requirement of that money. And then we have our streets that we would like to repave this year that can be seen on our website if people would like to go and see that. You all should have received that in your packet on Friday for that. So that is our plan for this fiscal year upcoming. And if you want to open the floor, Mayor, for any public comments for that.
All right. I will open the meeting up for anybody who has any comments on the paving that's going to take place. There doesn't seem to be any, Rick. Apparently everybody's happy with your choices. You want to go over those?
Yeah, we can go over those real quick. The streets I'll give from and to, and real quickly we'll be looking at North 7th Street from Washington to Oscar Cross, Noble Park, the swim drive to the park entrance, Harrison Street, 32nd Street to 34th Street, Madison Street, 32nd Street to 34th Street, North 34th Street, Jefferson to Central, North 21st Street from Park Avenue to Mildred, North 22nd Street from Park Avenue to Mildred, North 23rd Street from Park Avenue to Mildred, Buckner Lane from 32nd Street to Minerva Place, Valley Road from Buckner Lane to Country Club, Mayfield Road, intersection only, that's right there at the Beltline Highway, Wheeler, Joe Bryan Drive to Mayfield Road, and Joe Bryan Drive from North 16th Street to 21st Street. Grand total of that work is estimated at $1.5 million. We still have a budget process that we need to go through. Our gas tax monies don't come to that amount of money. We have about $600,000 in our street resurfacing and reconstruction account. As the balance is today, we get about $550,000 on gas tax, and then with what the commission matches, is you put all of those sums or funds together, you can get around $1.5 million.
While you're up here, I think all of us are aware of the problems that we've had with Broadway, and Rick has been working with Paducah Water on that. We have finally detected the problem, and I think what Rick's going to do is do a wonderful job of patching Broadway first to make sure that the problem he has discovered is really the real problem, and if it is, then we'll repave Broadway a year or two down the road. But we're all concerned about the potholes and the problems that we have on Broadway. Broadway is our key street in the city. We want it to be nice. We want it to look good, and so Rick has been researching that and working hard to find out what exactly the problem is. I'm not sure we need to go into that detail, Rick, but
90 seconds or less.
All right, 90. I'll take you up on that.
Okay. With working in conjunction with Paducah Water, we had I guess a joint venture to go out there and do some exploratory excavation down into Broadway, around in the 2200, let's see, the 2000 block of Broadway. And basically, those of us that have been around here a long time, and some of us really senior, may remember a trolley track going down the middle of Broadway. The track is still there, it's just paved over. And we have some moisture content and some bad soils, and we just have some bad properties there where the edge of the trolley track, where the cross ties and the trolley track are, with the pavement and the wheel line of people that are driving down Broadway. And this is fracturing, creating somewhat of a fault. It just so happened to be in the vicinity of the water line, and it appeared to be, okay, source of water would be that. We've discovered that that's not the problem, and that we're going to come up with a solution, try that, see if that works before we pave all of Broadway. We wouldn't want to go pave all of Broadway and then not have the proper solution for addressing the problem.
Good. So glad we're finally getting to the to the end of that, and we know what's wrong with it. So,
And we will be doing some work on Broadway this summer when we get into paving. We're going to do those patches this year. Even though that's not on the list, we can't afford not to.
good. Thank
Rick?
you.
I know that y'all been out to look at Buckner Lane and Pines Road, and I know you're still working on that.
We'll need to work, even though, you know, I believe we had some public comments on that here a meeting or so ago. We'll need to look at that real close and get a good plan together.
Right.
That came up. We had already developed this plan, but depending on the order of magnitude of that cost or how elaborate we get or how, I guess efficiently solve that problem will determine what we may or may not do. Like, for example, some of these streets, if you all or we feel like that's more important than some of these streets, we can make some adjustments. We can work together on that.
Okay.
Thank you, Rick. All right, we will start the meeting. Commissioner Abraham, minutes.
I move that the readings of the minutes for March 20th, 2012 meetings be waived, and that the minutes of said meetings prepared by the city clerk be approved as written.
Second.
Okay, any comments? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Galt?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler?
Aye.
Commissioner Watkins?
Aye.
Mayor Paxton?
Aye. We have several appointments. Whereas, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners, I hereby appoint Robert Bob Bloomingberg to replace Andrew Coiner, who has resigned from the Human Rights Commission. David Boggs to replace Lanny King, who has resigned. These terms will expire July 24th, 2014. And whereas subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners, I hereby appoint Shalorn Jeter to replace Vicki Brantley, whose term has expired. And this term will expire July 24th, 2015.
I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the action of Mayor Paxton in appointing Robert Bob Bloomingberg, David Boggs, and Sherlorn Jeter as members of the Paducah Human Rights Commission.
Second.
Okay, you have their the list of their resume, and we've got some good people on this. Bernice Belt, as chairman, is doing a wonderful job of leading the Human Rights Commission, and so I'm excited about the future. With that, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Galt?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler?
Aye.
Commissioner Watkins?
Aye.
Mayor Paxton?
Aye. Whereas, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners and jointly with McCracken County Judge Executive, I hereby appoint Glenn Anderson to the Paducah-McCracken County Convention and Visitors Bureau. This term will expire December 31st, 2014.
I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the action of Mayor Paxton and jointly with the McCracken County Judge Executive in appointing Glenn Anderson as a member of the Paducah-McCracken County Convention and Visitors Bureau Board.
Second.
Questions? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Galt?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler?
Aye.
Commissioner Watkins?
Aye.
Mayor Paxton?
Aye. We go to motions. Commissioner Watkins.
I move that the following documents be received and filed under documents: insurance certificates for Danny Cope and Sons Excavating LLC, Florence and Hutchinson Inc., Harper Construction LLC, Jim Smith Contracting Company LLC, Louisville Paving Company Inc., MP Lawson Construction LLC, Michael Hayden Home Improvements, performance bond, Danny Cope and Sons Excavating LLC, Harper Construction LLC, and Jim Smith Contracting Company LLC. Under agreements, 2012-2013 concrete program with payment bond, 2012-2013 resurfacing program with payment bond, 2012-2013 limestone, 2012-2013 equipment rental with labor and material payment bond. Notice of cancellation for the City Commission meeting for March 27th and April 3rd, 2012. City of Paducah Section 8 Housing PHA 5-year and annual plan. City of Paducah Section 8 Administrative Plan KY 137. City of Paducah Department of Finance Financial Report for period ending January 31, 2012. And the Paducah Waterworks Financial Highlights for February 2012.
Second.
All right. Questions? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler,
Aye.
Commissioner Watkins,
Aye.
Mayor Paxton.
Aye. Do we, what do we do with this?
Commissioner Abraham needs to read that.
Okay, that's Commissioner Abraham. I'm sorry. All right, Commissioner Abraham, B of motions.
Okay. I'm offering a motion which, if adopted, will serve to correct an inadvertent error contained in a motion made and adopted on March 20th, 2012, pertaining to ordinance number 2012-37905. The aforesaid error was an incorrect description and was contained only in the initiating motion. Ordinance number 2012-37905 was correct as adopted and published in the Paducah Sun on March 24th, 2012. I move that the aforesaid incorrect motion be rescinded and the following motion be adopted in its stead, and that a republication of ordinance number 2012-37905 in the Paducah Sun be deemed to be legally unnecessary. That the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending section 18-91 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Paducah. This ordinance is summarized as follows. That the City of Paducah amends section 18-91, metallic tubing or rigid conduit required in business buildings of Chapter 18 Building and Building Regulations of the Code of Ordinances to allow listed metal-clad cable to be installed in all business buildings.
Second.
Okay, do we need any kind of explanation on this?
If you do, you're going to have to turn to the city clerk for it.
Okay, so I messed up. What happened
Didn't mean
was.
it that way.
That's okay. The ordinance was correct that we adopted on March the 20th. It had to do with the metal tubing in business buildings. We're going to be more business friendly. So the description or the summary was incorrect. My mistake, and it was published in the Paducah Sun, so we had to correct it, and this is the motion that we had to do in order to correct that.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to make sure the public understood what we were doing here.
That I messed up.
No, we.
They thought you were perfect.
Did we vote on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we did?
No, we haven't, but we need to.
Yeah. All right, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Galt?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler?
Aye.
Commissioner Watkins?
Aye.
Mayor Paxton?
Aye. Municipal orders, Commissioner Gall, personnel changes.
Upon the recommendation of the city manager, the Board of Commissioners of the City of Paducah order that the personnel changes on the attached list be approved.
All right.
Second.
Second, anything of interest here, Mr. City Manager?
Well, we had the misfortune of having a member of our IT team leave us, and a key position. I just want to point out that we had the good fortune of being able to find a competent replacement in short order. And we're very fortunate for that, because these folks with that skill set are few and far between. So we hope to not lose much ground there in the IT department, which of course is a critical support department for the city. Other than that, a bunch of summer hirees.
Okay. Any questions? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Galt?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler?
Aye.
Commissioner Watkins?
Aye.
Mayor Paxton?
Aye. Ordinances and adoptions, Commissioner Kaler.
I move that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance approving and authorizing the purchase of handheld radios and accessories for the Paducah Police Department, and authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for same. This ordinance is summarized as follows: that the City of Paducah hereby approves and authorizes the Finance Director to make payment to Motorola Solutions in the amount of $59,986.40 for the purchase of 24 Motorola XTS 2500 MHZ portable radios at $2,344.47 each, 24 chargers at $14.25 each, and 11 extra batteries at $31.92 each for the Paducah Police Department in compliance with the Kentucky State Purchasing Contract. Grant funds in the amount of $60,000 received from Kentucky Office of Homeland Security will cover the cost.
Second.
Okay, questions? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Galt?
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler?
Aye.
Commissioner Watkins?
Aye.
Mayor Paxton?
Aye. Ordinances, introductions. Commissioner Watkins?
Okay, I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a contract and all other documents relating to same between the City of Paducah and the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO, Local 1586. This ordinance is summarized as follows: that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute a contract and all other documents relating to same between the City of Paducah and the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO, Local 1586, which will expire June 30th, 2015.
Second.
Okay, Mr. City Manager?
We have before you tonight a negotiated agreement with the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees, which is one of our three unionized work groups. Tonight we have with us representatives of AFSCME and also of our negotiating team. I want to mention that our negotiating team included the department directors of the two departments from which employees comprise the AFSCME bargaining unit, that being Mark Thompson in Park and Rec and Rick Murphy in Public Works. Also, of course, HR Director Cindy Medford is part of the team, and we brought in Adrienne Gleason, brought back, I should say, who was our lead negotiator at the table last go-around with two other unions to serve in that capacity, and they all did a very, very fine job. So Adrienne is with you. If you would come forward, Adrienne, I think you're prepared to give a brief summary and answer any questions that the Commission might have.
Welcome back, Adrienne.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, Commissioners, you have before you a contract that has been negotiated by the staff here at the city and membership or leadership of the AFSCME union, and then voted upon by AFSCME membership. It was a very productive set of negotiations. Want to applaud both the staff from the city as well as the leadership from AFSCME in being very reasonable and calm in their negotiations. Everyone came to the table with a cooperative spirit, and the results are before you. And I appreciate the opportunity to work on this project.
Okay, well, Adrienne, I want to commend the team. This has been a pleasant experience. There hasn't been a whole lot of discussion, and that's good. You all went through this process, and you worked with the union leaders, and they passed the contract. That's what we're looking for. So. With that, does anybody have any comments? Commissioner White?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. First, Adrienne, how long did it take from beginning to end to negotiate this contract?
We had 4 sessions scheduled. We take all 4 sessions but over the 8 weeks. I mean, so we met about 2 weeks apart, and first came together, laid all of the city's articles on the table. The second negotiation session, AFSCME came with some requests, and then through the last 2 phases, we basically came to the middle ground where we could, and the last meeting was basically a cleanup meeting where we said, all right, here's the final product. So it was a very cooperative process.
That was the point I wanted to get across to the public. I want to congratulate you and Cindy Medford, Rick Murphy, Mark Thompson, Murray Looper, the president, and my mind just went blank.
David Shockley was also involved.
I knew I was going to screw up here. But I want to thank all of y'all and say that in my 6 years of being on the commission, and I will say that also I was elected to the executive board for AFSCME Local 1586 about 200 years ago when I worked for the city before I moved on, and in observing those negotiations and relationships over all these years, I don't think they've ever been any better in my entire life since I was 20 years old and started working for the city. And so I just want to praise all of you and thank you for a job well done, for a cooperative spirit, and putting the city's business first, and being willing to negotiate and doing it in such an amiable manner. Relations among the employees and City Hall have changed 500% since I've been on the commission, and I'm more proud of that than anything else, and y'all deserve all the credit for it. So I just want the public to know that and appreciate you and the hard work you do for the city in this contract.
Anybody else?
And you mentioned someone else, Adrienne.
David Shockley was also representative on the AFSCME side.
Well, you know, this Public Works is the one that, they're the boots on the ground. They're the ones that get out there and do all the hard work. Not that we all don't work hard in the city, but they're the ones that keep the city looking so good, take care of it, and we really do appreciate that. Thank you.
Commissioner Abraham?
I'd just like to echo my fellow commissioners. It reminds me of when you have a group of people and those individuals on both sides realize that there is a job that needs to be done, and they can come together, work out their differences for the whole piece to be functional. That's what these guys have done, and that's what the Kentucky Wildcats did. Right?
That's right.
Very talented people.
That's right.
Give up a little something for the bigger picture, and that's exactly what we've done here on a couple of the last two negotiations. You sit down and you have to trust the person you're across the table from, and when that happens, then there's a relationship. Without the trust, it's it's not going to work. So again, I commend everybody involved, the union guys. You represented well, and the management side realized that you're so important to what we do here at City Hall. So it was a win-win. So I appreciate everybody.
Commissioner Galt?
Well, there's not much else I can say. We've all talked about the trust issue before, and I've certainly watched that grow in the last 3 years that I've been here, and I think it is a trust issue, and I am thrilled that it has worked out as well as it has, and appreciate you all more than you know. So thank you, and I know the taxpayers feel that way as well. So thank you so much.
I don't know whether you whether his name was mentioned or not, but the conductor of the orchestra is right here to the right, city manager, and he's the one that made sure the right people, from the Adriennes to all these people, were in the right place and doing the right job, and he was keeping up with every move. So, Mr. City Manager, I appreciate your good work.
Well, I want to again thank the team and commend them and the representatives of AFSCME, and I want to say where Adrienne Gleason is concerned that that's one of the easiest chairs that I've ever filled as a conductor. I mean, she's very, very competent, brings the right attitude, right background to the table, and I think has a heck of a lot to do with creating and maintaining the environment at the table that leads to a pretty efficient and constructive negotiation. Adrienne, 10 hours at the table tops?
I believe just slightly more than that. I think the total time involved on my part from planning and even drafting proposals was 28 hours total. So, I mean, that probably 2/3 of that at the table.
Yeah, and that's pretty darn amazing when you think about it. Less 10 hours or right around 10 hours at the table to negotiate a 3-year contract with between the city and a union with a bargaining unit of, what, 60, 70 employees, something like that. So I think that's a credit to everybody.
In a recession.
In a recession.
But, you know, also this is the third one. The firefighters, the Fraternal Order of Police, and now AFSCME have all gone this smooth. And we have a wonderful relationship with the unions, and I think they do trust us, and I'm glad to see the negotiating team that we have. I hope we can keep y'all guys for future.
Some of them are going to bail out
Murray?
like some.
Murray. Murray wanted to. Mr. President, will come forward so everybody at home can hear you.
Well,
to the microphone.
Won't be able to hear you if you don't come up here.
Murray's kind of shy, but
Mayor, Commissioners, I just wanted to tell you all thank you. Adrienne did an excellent job too. I'm going to give her some kudos because she was someone who did bring that confidence level, I think, to both sides. That her abilities to help the negotiation in itself. She did a very, very good job, and we, as the union body, wanted to make sure that she got a little bit of praise for that because she did do a good job. Also, for future reference, there are two departments. There is Public Works, and there also is the Parks Department. Just for you guys to know that. So we do a lot of work. I know Rick's team does a lot, but Mark Thompson's back there grinning like a possum. But often when you guys make statements and stuff, you forget the Parks Department, and we do a whole lot as far as the Parks Department is concerned. So thank you very much.
Said. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. All right, Adrienne, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, good job. All right, introduce, so we will vote on that at the next meeting. Commissioner Abraham.
I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Chapter 6, Alcohol Beverage of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Paducah. This ordinance is summarized as follows. The City of Paducah hereby mandates that all persons employed to sell alcohol beverages by the drink, those participating in the selling and serving of or taking order for alcoholic beverages, complete a city-approved responsible beverage training program. Further, all license holders employing persons required to complete training shall be responsible for all employees completing their training within a 90 days of the adoption of this ordinance. Following the 90-day grace period for compliance, any new employee shall have the required training within 60 days after employment. All persons completing the training required by this section shall be recertified in responsible beverage service training by a city-approved program no less than once every 3 years thereafter.
Second.
Okay, any comments?
I have one question. On the recertification, I wasn't real clear on that. Do they have to go through the whole course again, or do they just pay a fee and get it re-upped?
Maybe I should just give a little bit of an overview, because that's one of the things I wanted to cover there. And this may have taken a little different form than you anticipated here or there. So I want to make sure that you're all understood on two or three important points. Whereas some jurisdictions have chosen to make this apply to package sales, this does not. This is by the drink. And that's done, I think, for manageability on both our end and the business's end at the same time. And I think most people, while I would not discount that any sale of alcohol carried potential risks with it, that certainly they're probably greater on a on sale or by the drink basis. So we decided to have it apply only to that. If you feel differently about that, please say so, and we could make a change. Another part I wanted to point out deals with the certification itself. You're all familiar with the STAR program. In fact, heard from representatives of that. It's kind of a Kentucky original, I think, at least at the state level. A very good program, and of course we have trainers in town, and it's available. After learning, and Tammy did a lot of the work on this, that in fact similar training modules, if you will, are available sort of generically around the country, and in fact are typically accessed by franchise businesses, we think it makes sense to afford that flexibility to allow an equivalent, if you will, of the STAR program to be used. So, and we found in looking at other ordinances around the state, most especially Murray, which is probably the one that we borrowed most heavily from here, that that kind of thing is allowed. So rather than specify the STAR program or any other, we specified that it be a city-approved training program, and we will certainly check to make sure, as I think the ordinance says, that it has the primary tenets in there of identification of false documents, recognition of intoxication, and liability issues. Now, those are pretty standard from state to state, so we hope that captures the essence of the training. To Gail's question, initially, if this passes, employees engaged in serving alcohol by the drink would have 90 days from adoption of the ordinance to become certified. Future hirees would be 60 days from the time of employment. There's a 3-year period after which it would need to be renewed, and our expectation would be that the entire certification program would become the recertification program. I don't know that there's a recertification process that's any shorter than the certification. I would tend to doubt it, just because it's probably, I believe it's a half a day thing, 3 or 4 hours anyway, so it would surprise me to hear that they abbreviated that for recertification. So I think your expectation going forward would be that it would be the same amount of time. We could certainly find that out locally by next meeting and answer that question fairly shortly for you.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say briefly, Mayor, that we pass a number of ordinances, and they're all important, and they're all about making this a better place to live and bringing about more opportunities and improving the quality of life for Paducah. But I think this ordinance has the rank up closer to the top end that I truly believe that lives will be saved as a result of the passage of this ordinance. So I'm really proud of this commission and this community and the support from bar owners to get this ordinance passed and see the benefits of this training program for people who do serve.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that takes us to the city manager's report.
Just want to mention that as of tonight, we're anticipating a workshop next Tuesday night. If any of you are going to be absent, please let us know, and we could work around that. But I want to get with you on what I typically call a pre-budget discussion to give you some awareness of some of the parameters that we're looking at in the budgeting process this year, share some facts and figures and projections with you so you have some anticipation of what some of the challenge will be in the preparation of the budget, as well as what might await you when the proposed budget comes to you in just a few weeks.
Thank you. Commissioner, comments?
Yes. I last week, spring break, and I had went down to Florida and had a wonderful time. Left Thursday, went through for the first time the Smoky Mountains, and I got to tell you, we pulled over, and there was this one spot, and any of you all have been there. There's spots along the way you can pull over. And I'm standing there by this tree, and what I'm looking at is, I mean, I can't even describe what it looked like. It was absolutely humbling. I think that's the best word for it. And I'm standing there, and Cindy's like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, you know what? I felt this big. And I'm looking at this, and I said to myself, and I said, if anyone doubt that there's a creator, I wanted to bring him there and explain this to me, because that was one of the most moving things I've ever seen. And it was just there. And sometimes I get a little cocky sometimes. And I think God used that trip to show me, look, Rich, you're this big, man. And it was just, I just wanted to share that with you guys. It was awesome, and it took 15 minutes, and to sit there and just look at that, and it was awesome.
Great.
It was awesome.
Great.
So those are my comments.
Thank you. I will say that to the TV audience, the quilters are coming. I would ask the public to keep their yards nice, keep their sidewalks nice, keep their homes nice. Let's make a good impression to the quilters when they're here. I've talked to Mark Thompson, and we've got some work to do downtown as far as getting downtown spruced up, get some of the beds looking nice. Lisa with PRA has told me that there's going to be all sorts of music playing while the quilters are here. So it's going to be a festive time. I hope everybody will enjoy themselves. And it looks like registration is up about 30% plus.
Wow.
From everything I hear.
Fantastic.
So it should be a great quilt show. The merchants are going to do well. So let's everybody do their part. So that's all I wanted to say. With
I
that,
have something I want to say.
okay.
I just want to remind everybody out there that we do have an ordinance on the books about tying your dog in your backyard with no shelter, because I'm seeing quite a bit of that recently, and several reports of it. So I just want to say there is an ordinance. You are not allowed to tie your dog in your backyard for over, I've forgotten how many hours. Chief, do you remember how many hours? To a fixed stake. They can be on a clothesline lead.
There's several corroborating facts relative to that. The issue is whether or not they're in a condition where they're not treated, I can't say humanely, but where they're not treated with respect for being a pet or whatever, leaving it out in inclement weather and
in the rain,
and not really taking care of that animal properly. So there's several things that go along with that. Not necessarily the amount of time, but what is happening in conjunction with that, the animal being out there, being tied up and left in bad weather. So.
Good. Thank you, Chief. Yeah. Shelley, come on up here real quick. You got 2 minutes. No, we got a lot going on tonight. We got executive session. I am? Well, I might give you 10 then.
How's everybody? What I'm really asking y'all to consider tonight is, I'm hearing everybody talking about the quilt convention and all that. Would you consider an ordinance to stop these people from running around here with their pants on the ground, showing their underwear in our fair city? With all these people coming to town, I want us to look good, Mayor. Well, and I believe you'll agree with me. You don't want to see nobody's underwear while you're eating your steak tonight. You know what I mean? And really, that's all I got to say. I wish you would consider, though, an ordinance that'll stop this, because I think it's disrespectful, and I think it's not good for our city.
It isn't.
That's all I need to say.
I agree with you, Shelley.
Yeah,
thank you, Shelley, for saying that.
Actually, Tennessee
they have passed
is considering. I think it's in chambers to really pass a law about that, and there are other cities that are kind of following in that line.
That could be as popular as our smoking ban.
You know what? If young people that do that knew where that practice came from, they wouldn't pull their pants down. That's an invite in prison life's what that is. And I don't think they really want to do that.
It's not cool.
That's the truth. That's where it came from.
Well, thank you, Shelley. We'll take that into consideration.
I think it's disrespectful. I'm an older person, younger people, and younger people think it's cool.
I know it. I know it. I know it. Good. Thank you. All right. Any other public comments? All right. Commissioner Galt.
I move that the board go into closed session for discussion of matters pertaining to the following topics. A specific proposal by a business entity where public discussion of the subject matter would jeopardize the location, retention, expansion, or upgrading of a business entity as permitted by KRS 61.8101G.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Abraham.
Aye.
Commissioner Galt.
Aye.
Commissioner Taylor.
Aye.
Commissioner Watkins.
Aye.
Mayor Paxton.
Aye. Thank you all very much. Good meeting.